The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in a way that gives consumers more control, a better use of technology, and guaranteed savings. Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air and in the media educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to introduce Bundle Select, which allows consumers to bundle all of their real estate services online, simplifying the process while averaging a savings of 20% or more. That's right, Bundle Select helps buyers and sellers streamline real estate, lending, and title. In addition, our concierge service will coordinate the entire transaction for you, so you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. You'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all three services as well. Act now and take advantage of this opportunity in the Bay Area. Go to bundleselect.com. That's bundleselect.com. Again, bundleselect.com.
Real estate broker Cal BRE 004666902. Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in, Joe Kuchera with the Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you again for tuning in with us on Facebook. Continue to follow us. Just a reminder, be sure to do me a favor, download the podcast. That way you can follow us anywhere at any time. That is the best way to stay in touch with Real Estate Radio Live. If you go to iTunes and just type in Real Estate Radio Live, you can download the podcast there. Or you can simply go to our website as well anytime, and that is at reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. You can download the podcast. If you need to reach me during the week, a lot of people do reach out for many different reasons. This show is focused on education and information, so because of that, I do have a lot of people reaching out, and feel free to do so. That's what this show's for, and that's what I'm for, to help you. A couple different ways you could reach me during the week. If you want to text or call, that's area code 408-838-9060, or you could always email Joe at reradiolive.com. That is Joe at reradiolive.com. Most of you know, if you've been following the show, it is focused on education and information. We're going to continue to provide you with more and more value, and we do that by having great guests. We had Jack Russo on with us yesterday, who's going to be a regular guest with us probably every other week, talking about legal issues, also mainly entrepreneurship in the Silicon Valley, what to expect from startups, and specifically maybe startups in the real estate industry or lending industry. How are they disrupting things? We'll get his perspective because he is one of the companies that works with startup companies with this activity. So a lot of good, valuable information. And stick with us. And remember, he'll be on with us. It's hard to tell which day, but he'll be on with us about every other week. All right, the topic today is going to be home buyers and sellers, things to be aware of and prepare for in a low inventory market. So most everybody knows by now, it's been talked about till we're all kind of blue and black and green in the face, that inventory is so low, and it's been at the lowest point. Now, I do think that that's going to change here in the next couple of months. I do believe indications, if you reach out and you talk to people in the real estate industry and you look at some of the data that's out there, or maybe some of the research surveys that are pointing to the fact that we just might get some additional inventory on the market, possibly in the next couple months. We just may get that. So keep an eye out for that. But we don't know if that's, we don't know if that's guaranteed. We don't know if that's going to happen for sure. So you just want to keep an eye on that and see. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is go through the kind of the list of things, both on the buyer and seller side. First, I'll address the things to be prepared for and aware as a buyer, and then I'll I'll kind of go through the things to be aware of and prepare for, excuse me, on the selling side in this type of market. Now, I've said this before, and one of the reasons I spend so much time with this education information is because after so many years of doing this and interviewing agents and working with some of the best agents out there, and on the lending side myself, I've gained a really good perspective of what works, what doesn't, the teams that work, the people that work, the systems that work. And so I'm going to continue to provide those to you, move those on to you, the consumer, for your benefit. So let's jump in. I'm going to talk first about, now this is specifically for buyers. Now this is for buyers specifically, what to be prepared for and to be aware of in a low industry, or I should say a low inventory market. First and foremost, make sure you have the right real estate agent. And some of you might say, well, what's the right real estate agent mean? The right real estate agent, there's a lot of factors that goes into this. Now, if you've used someone for years and you're really, really happy with them and you feel like they've delivered on the promises and the service and the requirements, then I would say stick with the people you have, because if you have a track record, if you have a relationship with someone that has a great track record, you can't beat that, so stay with that. However, just remember, this is a unique market, and there hasn't been a lot of agents that have dealt with this type of market. Some will tell you that they've dealt with it a lot, but there's some that have not. So be aware of working with the right agent. If you're suspect or suspicious of whether you're working with the right agent or not, give me a call. Ask friends and family, people that have referrals. People may know of other real estate agents, but I could tell you in this market, and I've said this hundreds of times before, in a regular kind of normal market, you could get away with working with someone both on the lending side and the real estate side that maybe aren't of the highest quality or maybe don't quite understand 100% of what the market's doing and what it's about. Right now, it's critical. It's extremely critical to find the right person and work with the right person and the right team. And you would say, well, it's always the right. You should always do that, right? Yeah, you should. You should. But my point behind this is that when you're getting ready to make a financial decision like this, please, please, please be sure that you're working with the right people. So first and foremost, buyers, make sure you're working with the right agent. If there's some question on that, feel free to reach out, give me a call, or talk to others that might know. Secondly, be sure you're pre-approved. You've heard me talk about this before. Be sure you're pre-approved. And here's the key word. If your lender says no problem, you've been approved, ask them, am I underwritten approved? Has an underwriter looked at my file? Am I approved 100% underwritten approval? So use that wording with your lender, okay? Third thing to think about is be prepared for non-contingent offers. Yesterday I did a show about, the day before I did a show about how to prepare for a market like this. One of the things I talked about was a non-contingent offer, how important it is in a market like this. So as a buyer, this is in the top 10 list. This is in the top 5. Be prepared for a non-contingent offer. What does that mean? I'm not going to go into detail because I did this the other day. There are 4 or 5 or 6 different things that you could do to prepare yourself for a non-contingent offer. And I won't go into them in detail today because I did that in a previous show. If you want more information on that, reach out, give me a call, email, and I'll be happy to go through those. So be prepared for a non-contingent offer. In addition to that, have the right mindset. I want to talk about this for a minute. You might say, what do you mean the right mindset, Joe? As a buyer, when you're in a market like this, sit down with either it's your spouse, your partner. If you're doing this by yourself, it really doesn't matter. Pick the brain of someone that's not emotional about this decision. Here's what I mean about have the right mindset. In a market like this, you're probably going to have to settle. You're not going to get the perfect home, most likely. You're most likely might not get the home that you want in the area that you want, the square footage you want, maybe the school district you want. There's some things you're going to have to settle on. So the reason I say mindset is because if you go into this process as a home buyer with expectations that aren't realistic, you're going to continue to be disappointed over and over and over again. So this is easier said than done. Sit down and think about this as a buyer. When I say the right mindset, know when you're out there looking at properties that it's going to be somewhat disappointing. You're going to miss out on offers. You're going to likely put in offers on places you're maybe like 100% not in love with. You're going to look at a home and you're going to the agent's going to say this, put an offer at 1.2 million. You're going to look at the house and go, "Are you kidding me?" All these things are going to come up. And so in order to deal with these emotionally, have the right mindset. I don't think enough people think about this, and you don't put thought into this. You don't sit down and put pencil to paper and figure this out and go through a process in which you come out the other end being prepared. Seriously, this is probably one of the most important things to go through as a couple or as an individual when you're getting ready to be out there in the market because of the type of the market you're in. If you don't go through this exercise, and if you're not at peace in your mind and have the right mindset here, what's going to happen is you're going to be discouraged, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be depressed at times, you're going to have arguments with your agent, potentially your partner, your spouse, whatever, because you haven't really sat down and chatted about, okay, I'll give you an example. All right, we're going into a market that's very competitive. There's a chance we're going to miss out on offers. There's a chance we might overpay. There's a chance we're going to put in an offer on a house we don't really like 100%. Have these conversations. The reason why they're important is that it will come up. And then when it comes up, emotionally you're going to be able to handle it better because you've already discussed it. See, the problem is when you don't discuss these things and air them out and just throw them up and discuss them and put them out on paper, when they come up, then they become really distracting and upsetting. So just like any good game plan, just like any coach or any player, if we relate it to sports, prepare for the game. Prepare for the game. Do what you need to do to prepare to get out there and be in the game of a buyer. So as a buyer, really important, have that right mindset. Make sure the mindset is there. Again, I'll real quickly go over the things that are going to come up. Multiple offers, losing out on offers, a home typically you might not really like, but you're going to make a decision whether you want to put an offer on it or not, how much you're willing to pay. Are you going to put a non-contingent offer? And what that means, is that scary? Does that make you nervous? All these things you should have conversations, again, with mentors, with advisors, with your spouse, partner, and then also have them with your real estate agent. And this will bring me back to the circle, the first thing I said here, on your checklist as a buyer in a market like this. When I said find the right real estate agent, make sure you're working with the right real estate agent. If your real estate agent is not having a conversation with you similar to what I'm doing right now, it's not the right agent because they should prepare you for this market. Emotionally, psychologically, they should prepare you just like your lender should prepare you for that on the financial side as well. If you're not having a conversation like this with your realtor and they're not preparing for you like this, I would sit down and talk to them and have this conversation. Have it. And it's important. Just trust me when I tell you this. You don't want to go in with your eyes closed. You don't want to go with blindfolders on. This is a crazy market. You have to be prepared. And if you are, it's still going to be tough, but at least you'll have a better chance of having success. And so that's the other thing I would say is be prepared, have the right mindset. The last thing I'm going to talk about, how to be prepared, better prepared, and aware of as a buyer. On the next segment, I'm going to get into focused on the sellers, what you need to be prepared for and to be aware of. So the last thing I'll talk about is be prepared to do your own marketing and networking. And I'm going to pause for a second because some people are going to say, well, what are you talking about? Isn't that my real estate agent's job, marketing and networking? Yes, but be prepared to do your own personal marketing and networking. Let me explain what I mean by this. And again, a lot of people won't think about this. In a market like this, whether you're an individual, couple, again, partner, doesn't matter. How do you do, when I say, what do I mean by your own networking and marketing? Go to your network. Go to your family, your friends, your coworkers. Put out the word. Tell them, hey, listen, me and so-and-so are out buying a house. We're looking. We're excited. I know my real estate agent's doing a great job, and I trust he or she, but here's what I'm doing. I'm getting the word out. I'm getting the word out to my network. I'm getting it out to my coworkers. I'm getting it out to my family, because you never know. What if you as a couple or an individual, let's just say you got the market, you hit your network with the fact that you're out looking for a home. And that network consists of 50 or 60 people, let's say, okay? What if one of those 50 or 60 people knew a neighbor or someone that was getting ready to sell their house, and you got maybe an in? What if you got an inside scoop on that? What if the neighbor was really close and it was a situation where they weren't quite ready to put it on the market, but they maybe put it on the market later or sooner, and you were able to get in with your real estate agent and have a conversation with this person before it goes on the market? Now, I'm not saying they still may not put that home on the market. People forget to use your own resources. The most powerful influence each of us have is our own network. So start with the people that like you, that trust you, that want good things for you. So as a buyer, get the word out. Get it out to family, friends, coworkers. If you have email lists and maybe you're part of groups, there's a lot of people that are part of all kinds of different groups of organizations. People that like you want to help you. Get it out there. Hey, listen, we're looking for a house. If anybody knows any homes that are going on the market, or if you could, shed any information or light on anything that's going on that I may not know about, please let me know. This is something that's not done enough, and I think people should do it on a regular basis. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to dive in and talk a little bit about the sellers. So what do the sellers need to be prepared for and aware of in a market like this? Granted, they're in a better situation, but there's still some things that they need to focus on. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Those on Facebook, continue to follow us or stay there, because we are going to take a quick break and come back and finish up the show talking about what should sellers be prepared for in a market like this. I'll be back in just a minute.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com.
Is there a real estate bubble in the Bay Area? No, but there is now a real estate bundle in the Bay Area. That's right, Bundle Select. Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air and in the media educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to introduce Bundle Select, which allows consumers to bundle all of their real estate services online, simplifying the process while averaging a savings of 20% or more. That's right, Bundle Select helps buyers and sellers streamline real estate, lending, and title. In addition, our concierge service will coordinate the entire transaction for you, so you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. You'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all three services as well. Act now and take advantage of this opportunity in the Bay Area. Go to bundleselect.com. That's bundleselect.com. Again, bundleselect.com.
Real estate broker Cal BRE 00466902. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'm with you today talking about what to be prepared for, home buyers and home sellers, how to be best prepared and what to be aware of in a low inventory market. Specifically, the first segment I talked about from a buyer's perspective. I went through a list of 6 or 7 things to really be focused on and both to be aware of. Now, in this segment, I'm going to talk about the sellers. Sellers, what to be aware of, what to be prepared for. Most people might throw everything up in the air and go, Joe, are you kidding me? Life is good as a seller. I'm going to put my house on the market and I'm going to get all kinds of money for it. I have no worries. Well, that could be the case. And let's face it. It is good to be a seller in a market like this. I think all of us would agree. However, there are still things that you should be aware of and be prepared for as a seller, regardless of the market. And this is a tough market. And so let's go through that list. Now, this is specific to sellers. The first thing will not change and will never change on my list and the things that I cover for the best things to be prepared. One is no different than a buyer. Make sure you're working with the right agent. Make sure you are working with the right real estate agent. Someone might say, Joe, does it really matter in a market like this because homes are flying off the market? Yes, it does matter. It matters in a big way. Find the right real estate agent. And here's the reason why. You don't want to leave any money on the table. You don't want someone that's not good at negotiating. You don't want someone that's not good at assessing offers. What's the best offer? What's the best offer for you? You want someone that understands the market. You want someone that knows how to market that property. You want someone that knows how to promote that property. Even though it's a crazy, crazy hot market for sellers, you still want the best real estate agent. You do. I'm just telling you, you do. They're going to have the benefits along with the market. So why wouldn't you have the best of both worlds? Why wouldn't you, as a seller, make sure if you're selling in a hot market like this, find the best agent, and they're going to do wonders for you. They're not only going to get you top dollar, but they're going to manage they're going to manage the entire process more effectively. They're going to take less stress from you. It's going to be less stressful for you because of the way they handle it, the way they network, the way they market. It's really important. It really is. So, again, I would tell you, in a business decision, I know this is hard for some people, and I say this all the time around the workplace or around friends, family, and people. I'm going to have a business conversation, or let's have a business conversation. I'll always start it with that. And the reason why is that some people take things personal when it's business. And when you're getting ready to sell your home, that is business. Well, sure, it's personal because it's your personal property and you have a lot of memories and emotions in that property. I don't mean that. I mean you're getting ready to sell a home and realize big dollars. That's a business decision. It's a personal home, but that is a business decision because this is money. So don't fool yourself. Work with a real estate agent. Work with the right real estate agent. And it's a business decision. Sit down, talk to the agent. How are you going to market the property? How are you going to get the most out of it? What are your needs? Make sure they meet those. Put the strategy together, put the house on the market, and I'm sure you're going to have success. I can't stress this enough. Remember, and this is both on the buyer and seller side, you guys, customers, consumers, people out there, listen, it's your choice, it's your money, and it's a business decision. Don't, for 1 second, fool yourself to think just because it's a personal home that it's not a business decision. It is a business decision. And if you look at it that way, you're going to approach it more practically. Yes, again, a home is emotional. I get that part, but you have to separate that. While you're doing this transaction, you need to try to separate it the best you can. It is a business decision. Don't let anybody tell you different. Because some people will try to take that control and lead you around. Well, as a consumer, you make the decisions. Yes, you consult. Yes, you hire the right people. But ultimately, it's your decision. And why is it your decision? It's your money. It's your life. You're making the payments. You're taking the risk. Don't let anybody make those decisions for you. Have people help you, have people guide you, have people consult with you, but ultimately make those decisions based on what for you or your family or whoever you're buying this property with. So make sure you have the right real estate agent. is number one. Second thing I would say, be real careful, and having the right real estate agent will actually, he or she will go through these things with you. But be careful in a market like this not to spend too much money on preparing your house to go on the market. There's all kinds of statistics and data around this. I know that for the most part, staging a home too makes a big deal. It does. When I say staging a home, again, it will depend on the value of the home, the location of the home. There's a lot of things that go into that. Believe it or not, in this day and age, which is crazy because we're all jaded, a house for $1 million today, a home that goes on the market for $1 million, it is sad, most of you know what I'm talking about if you live here, is not the same $1 million home that went on the market 20 years ago. Right? Would you agree? If you understand this, it is not the same home. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, if you looked at a home for $1 million, you'd be in awe and you'd be going, oh my God, I don't think I could ever afford that. How would I ever afford a place like that? And now a home for $1 million in the Silicon Valley, I hate to say it, very standard, very ordinary. And that's not a judgment statement, it's just true. And in comparison, most of you know what I'm talking about. My point is, be careful not to spend too much money. Make sure you assess the situation. Remember, business decision. Make sure the money you're investing into staging your home or landscaping or plants or flowers or painting or whatever recommendations may be, make sure the ROI, make sure the return on investment makes sense, and make sure you flush that out. So if you're going to spend $10,000 preparing your home to go on the market, you better make sure you and your real estate agent really see a value in that $10,000. You better make sure that home sells for a lot more than $10,000 that you just put into it. Right? So most of you understand this, and then it could be a lot more. In some cases, some people will spend even more. I'm just suggesting in a market like this where there's low inventory and you're going to get aggressive offers to begin with, a lot of times people are going to overpay, number one, and number two, they're going to want to do what they want with that home. So be careful. Each situation's different. Each situation's different. And if you're working with a great real estate agent, let me tell you, they're going to be super, and they'll take you through that, and they'll tell you exactly what to do. Have a plan before you sell. This is the next thing. Have a plan before you sell. I know it's easy to get excited because you're going to get you're probably going to get multiple offers and you're going to get a lot of money from your house. Have a plan what you're going to do when that home sells. Really important. In other words, when you sell your home, are you going to buy another one? 65 to 70% of people do. If that's the case, have the plan. Are you pre-approved for the purchase on your next home? Where's that going to be? Is everything in order? How's the timing? Right? Is it a new construction? Is it another home? Or are you in a situation where your house that you're selling now has to close in a certain amount of time in order to purchase the other place? Are you in a situation where you have more time? So maybe you could do a rent back with the people that buy your home. Have a plan. Have a plan. Talk about what the next steps are once you sell your house. Write it down. I'm a big fan of that. By the way, a lot of people will say, I have it in my head. That's great. I mean, it's good to have it in your head. But when you're talking about something so important and so expensive, make a list of things, kind of jot your list, keep it in front of you, make sure you're checking that list off and doing the things that you need to do. Next thing is, it's not super critical, but understand any kind of tax consequences. That's part of planning. Talk to your CPA when you're getting ready to sell your house. If you move all that equity into your next purchase, no big deal, no issues. But there are some people that don't move all their equity into the next purchase. They hold some equity back, and they either do something else with that equity or maybe use that money for something else. Be very careful. All I'm saying is when you get ready to sell your house, I would check with your financial planner to make sure you're on track with what you're doing, how that money's being used, and then also check with your CPA, get some tax advice. That may be nothing, it may be simple. There may be nothing to it, but I'm a big fan of always being sure. So check with your CPA, check with your financial planner, make sure you have all the right things in order so there's nothing that comes back that surprises you. All right? The last thing as we wrap things up, remember, first and foremost, as a seller, you have all the power. It is good to be a seller. You are king and queen. You're sitting on your throne, and you have all the power. You're looking down at all those people. If you could just imagine. And you're on your throne, and you are looking good, and you're feeling good because as a seller, it's really good time right now. Take advantage of it because it's not always that way. It has been that way for the last several years. Who knows? One of these days it'll change. It'll go back to a buyer's market. Who knows? Right now it's a seller's market, so I will leave you with this. Make sure you use it, but don't abuse it. You have all the power, but use the power, don't abuse it. What do I mean by that? Use it to your advantage. If you need a close of escrow that needs to be delayed, use that to your advantage. If you need that loan to close quicker, use that to your advantage. If you'd rather have to accept cash instead of a loan or whatever, use that to your advantage. If you need a rent back, use that to your advantage. It is good to be a seller right now, but don't abuse it. So what do I mean by abuse it? Don't take for granted and don't abuse it in the sense that no matter what, it's all about money and you want to rip someone off or you want to get the most and it doesn't matter who you know what I'm getting at. Don't let your vision get clouded or skewed for money. It's good to be a seller. You're going to get, I guarantee you're going to get the most for your house, so don't worry about that. But be compassionate on the other side. Show some compassion for the people buying because you were there once. I was there once. The mistake some of us make is when we get in a position where we think we have control, we abuse it. And we may not know that we do, but a lot of people do. All I'm saying is keep in mind, when you're on that high, mighty throne, getting ready to sell that house for all that money, just remember, I'm not saying reduce the price. I'm saying be compassionate with the people that are putting in the offers, the real estate agents that are working hard to put those offers in. Review them respectfully. Do the ethical thing. Both sellers and real estate agents, do the ethical thing. And remember that there are people on the other side of that transaction. Yes, it's money. Yes, it's a home. But there are people on the other side of the transaction. And believe you, me, all of us are going to be on both sides at one time in our life. We are either going to be on the sell side or the buy side, and we both know what that feels like when it's in a tough market either way. So all I'd ask you, keep that in mind. All right, we're going to wrap things up for the day. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. As always, I hope that this information helps you during the week at any time if you need to reach me for any questions at all. 408-838-9060. You could always go to reradiolive.com. This is Joe Kuchera. Have a great afternoon.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com.